Hello, and welcome back to Not That You Asked with Henry and Kiley, the podcast that walks the fine line between life advice and talking shit. If you like today's episode, you can find all of our uploads on YouTube at Not That You Asked Podcast and on SoundCloud at Not That You Asked with Henry and Kiley. You can also find us and stay in touch on Instagram at Not That You Asked Podcast. The link for that is in the description. We hope you enjoy today's episode. That's enough.
Hello.
That's it.
Welcome
Hello.
to this week's
Welcome to
live
Not That You
performance
Asked
of Henry
with
singing.
Henry and Kiley.
Yes.
Where we sing the We Shop
songs.
music.
Welcome.
It's super
Would you
fun.
like to buy any Wii games?
Would you like to buy any Wii games?
We also have
Wii-
Wii U games.
What?
I don't know.
What's your problem?
I don't know.
You said you had a joke, and then I just started singing the thing. Welcome to this week's episode. We
Welcome.
hope that you guys enjoyed last week's episode with our
Yes.
special guest, Kai Julin.
Hi, Julin.
He's my favorite. I
He's
love
great.
that motherfucker.
He's great. He's such a great person, and I feel so bad because I'm just like a really weird person, and every time I'm like just kind of drunk, I'm always just like, Kai would like to hear these weird things that I have in my head because he's weird too, so let me tell him that. So
That's really funny.
Christmas party was one of those nights.
Was it?
Yes.
That's good.
And I kept apologizing to him. That was the night where I talked like the girl from shit. She's Jewish. And
Thanks for narrowing it down.
She's Marvelous Miss Maisel. I sounded like that was the night that I
you.
talked like a New York Jew
Excellent.
for the whole night. Yeah.
You
Hi,
know.
welcome.
Yeah. You're gonna tell your joke eventually, but today's episode is sponsored by two beers, Daisy
That's
Cutter
not a
Pale Ale
joke.
from the great city of Chicago.
Great city of Chicago.
And what else? What other beer are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Voodoo Ranger IPA currently because I want to save the best for last, aka Daisy Cutter.
I'm saving the best for first because I love it.
It's so good. I offered one to your dad, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm okay. Like I don't need any beer." And I was like, "I've got a Daisy Cutter." He's like, "Well, okay, I'll take one."
Of course.
Of course.
Because who wouldn't?
Exactly.
So
I feel like Daisy Cutter's the spotted cow of Illinois.
I feel like it's the spotted cow of you and I's lives.
Fair enough. Okay, that's an accurate statement. Okay.
Because I don't
Okay.
think really anyone else feels that way.
I also so I recently listened to our old our older episodes,
Sure.
and I realized
Thanks.
that during the second episode, I said the mollusk was made by Weezer, and that was very
That's
incorrect.
wrong. You were also
Very
smacked,
drunk. I
which
was
really
very
funny.
drunk. I was really drunk that episode.
We just decided, like, should we do two in one day? And you were like,
yeah,
let's
fuck
do
it.
it.
Why not? Keep drinking.
And you had like 3.5 IPAs.
Tall boys too.
Yeah, big ones. And then
And I didn't eat. That was
yeah,
bad.
and then we started recording at like noon, and
Mhm.
we stayed and had like a 2-episode long conversation just like about our lives afterwards. That
Yes.
was not podcast worthy.
But it's
just
chill.
very funny.
We're fresh. We're
Yeah.
we're
So
freshening up. It's good. But I
Um,
apologize for that correction corner, maybe.
correction corner.
So
We hope-
sorry.
We hope that we're filming this on
Gloomy day.
a gloomy ass day, but it's Earth Day. Today's Earth
It's
Day.
Earth Day.
The Earth
Lil
is
Dicky
current-
Earth Day song.
Earth Day song is currently really happy because no humans are doing anything, and then when this is all over, humans are gonna start doing shit again, and the Earth is gonna be pissed at us.
Yay.
So we have only postponed our inevitable fate by a couple months. Good job.
Mhm.
Good job, humans.
L'chaim.
Yeah. So we hope that you all had a good Earth Day when you're listening to this, and that you're all
Yes.
having a good day in quarantine. It's
Watching
ongoing.
The Earth rain.
Today marks a month since I've been in quarantine.
I've been living at home since January 17th.
Yeah.
I've been counting.
A month ago, I was
'Cause that's
packing
the day
up
I
my
moved back
apartment in
in.
Rochester.
This is
Frickin' big tier.
fun. So much fun. We just
Super
got
fun,
our
really great.
commencement shit shipped to us.
Did you really?
Yeah. They
my
sent
God.
out like an email like, hey, but we're also doing this cap and gown thing. So if you like make your cap really pretty and post a picture of it, you can.
Did they just send you your cap and gown, or did you buy it?
No, they sent it to us. We're a private school, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're a private school too, but
But you had to pay for it?
yeah, are you kidding me?
That's
It's like
so
$800.
dumb. 800.
I don't know. It's some. It's not $800, but some asinine. It's above $400.
That's ridiculous. We did not pay anything for that.
Yeah, we got.
But Carol bougie as hell. I'm paying a lot of money to go to that school.
I don't know. I can't remember the real number. I'm gonna be really embarrassed when I look it up and find out that it was like $80. But in any event, Eastman bleeds you fucking dry, man. So
does Carol. And
But-
they're also a little racist sometimes, but it's
Whoops.
fine.
talking about our alma mater
Not the
that we
people,
haven't
but-
graduated from yet.
Fair enough. Not like the staff or anything. They're actually really nice, but
You've
the other people that also go
Yeah.
to that school are not fun
everything
people.
that you have shared to me about how your school is as an institution. It's so fun to talk about other people's schools because
Oh my
everyone's
God,
like,
it's so
"Do you have
fun.
that? Yeah, your school's fucked up too."
Yeah.
Like I feel like
you have
every
that school thing? Yeah.
yeah, every person has that, you know. And I feel like Eastman is particularly bad, but in some
Eastman's
ways,
pretty bad.
but Eastman is pretty good in some other ways.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But
Same with
one,
Carol.
But one thing that I always notice about when people talk about going to the schools, people that I trust and think are smart, obviously, is that their education
Yeah, I was just gonna say
is
that.
never the problem.
Yep.
It's not that they aren't learning. It's that their learning environment is terrible. Like, it's that,
Yeah.
like, it's either that, like, you feel like your school doesn't care about your physical well-being, your school doesn't care about your mental well-being, your school doesn't care about, like, doing things that are remotely acceptable in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Like schools just do tone-deaf shit that negatively reflect upon their student health,
Yeah.
like, frequently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this just how college is? Because
Yeah.
that's bad.
It's
and
bad.
I'm looking forward to DePaul, actually, because from the
Yeah.
experiences that my sister has had and from my current experiences, it seems like DePaul is an improvement.
I'm
on that
so ready to be
environment.
done with school. I
Yeah,
am
you're not going back to
so
school.
glad that I don't have to go back to school because that's a choice if I want to go back to school. And the
That's
answer
what
is
if you wanna be a
no.
fucking practitioner or a doctor. And you
I
don't wanna do that
don't
shit.
want to be a nurse doctor. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, why would I pay money to go to school about as long as a doctor would and not be a doctor? Like,
Yeah, why?
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to nurses. I think if you want to be a nurse practitioner, that's a great thing. Not for me.
For sure.
100% not my cup of tea. I just want to be a nurse. I just want to do my own thing.
No, man, I get you.
Okay.
But like, we can't even remember how we got to this grander conversation about school. Just like
Uh-uh.
clinically things that are fucked up.
Mhm.
But you know what though? In this
Beer's
whole-
good.
Beer is good.
Beer's good.
excellent. I learned that about
Beer helped me throughout college.
beer has helped me throughout college. You know what? You know who really should be
Alcohol.
getting the degree?
Alcohol.
Genesee Beer. Genesee Beer should be receiving a degree because they fueled my learning more than pretty much anything.
New Glarus and Everclear are the two for me.
I think the only thing that has helped my career more has been Jack Connolly and Mark Kellogg.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Two of my favorite people on earth.
yeah, Danielle Martini for me and Tyler Wyrek
Yeah.
and Natalie Hartwig, my three buddies at college.
Big hearts to you.
Everyone else sucks.
You had a joke to open the episode, and now we're like 5 minutes in, and
That's
you haven't
okay.
said your joke. Do you want to say your joke?
Okay, well, now that you've like set it up as a joke, it's not going to be as funny, but okay, no one's here to laugh anyways. So recently, I had Pepsi.
That's hilarious.
It's okay, it's not over.
Sorry.
You dillweed. You Brussels sprout fucking cuck. Okay, so
to quote Noah Hewitt.
to quote Noah
Oh my
Hewitt.
God, I love that guy.
I love Noah
All
Hewitt.
right,
Okay.
Continue.
I recently had Pepsi and I forgot how bad it was.
True.
It's so inferior.
Pepsi's terrible.
Pepsi's literally terrible.
Okay, is your school an all to tie it in? Is your school an all Pepsi
No.
school? Mine is.
That's
It's
disgusting.
disgusting.
That's disgusting. No, we were a Coke school.
Thank Christ.
We are a Coke school.
All schools are Coke schools, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Somebody did ask me if I knew where to find Coke. I said no. Try Weird Paul.
Try Weird Paul. Coke is something that I'm just so not okay with. And it's not going to get me very far in party scenes, but I don't care. I
don't really want to do
Coke is such
Coke.
an ugly drug.
I just like every time I think about doing Coke, I have a flashback to when I was in high school and I was on Accutane. No, I did not snort a Smartie in high school.
Did you never do that?
No.
Oh man.
I'm not a crackhead. Thank you very much.
Yeah, everyone who like snorted a Smartie either like had a learning disability like me, or
is dead,
or actually has done cocaine. Like
yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I just have a flashback to when I was on Accutane and all of my pores were so dry and my nose would just bleed for no reason. Do you remember?
Damn.
Do you remember because you would like pinch my nose in high school?
Yeah, one time I was like boop and like pinched your nose and you were like and then your nose gushing blood.
Yeah.
And you were like purposefully, you were like, look what you did, and then everyone was like, what'd you do? And you were like, and you were like, ow, and like I was like, I'm sorry, and everyone was like, Henry, you suck, and you were just like,
that was really funny. Well, because I remember like for whatever reason when we were seniors in high school, the thing quote unquote that everybody did was like boop noses. They would just like squeeze someone's nose, and I remember somebody in high school who's younger than me doing that to me. It was a guy. And then I just went, you have 3 days. And then my nose started bleeding. And then I like rolled my eyes to the back of my head and I made it seem like I was a demon.
You're awesome.
That was a fun time.
I don't need really much confirmation that you're one of my favorite people, but in case I needed it, I'm just going to listen back to this episode because that's just fucking hilarious.
I was on another level. I feel like I'm also on another level right now, but it's different.
Ascended. That's pretty great.
I've evolved.
You've evolved.
I have had a stroke and evolved.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, today we're gonna kind of take things back. We're gonna take things down a notch because
back it up.
We've had some pretty intense talks.
Throw it back.
Our last episode was a little spicy. I had to put in a censor because I told a story that I didn't want employers to hear.
No, that was 2 episodes ago.
That was 2 episodes ago.
Two episodes ago,
and then we just had an episode with Kai. So now I kind of want to talk about some of the hot takes we got on Instagram, just to kind of like,
just kidding,
go to the well of people, and by that I mean be lazy and
friends.
have our friends make our content for us.
Well, we ask the people we want to know, I guess. Yes.
Well, that's all who follows us is people we know.
Honestly, yeah. But that's okay. We do this for our friends.
And Joe too.
Love
Joe too.
Can't wait to see my drunk uncle. Shout out to Joe too.
Joe two's the best. We hope he listens to this.
I have to text him.
Okay, so we're gonna get serious right quick with a good buddy of mine. Sent us. Should people protesting the government shutdown be arrested and fined, i.e. like people who are protesting like the fact that their
businesses
that the economy is turned off right now because of a pandemic should be arrested and fined. And I honestly
don't think you should. I don't think you can.
You can't
you can't.
I mean, I agree. I think that if there were an initiative by a government to say, I'm so torn on this because my instinct is fuck yeah. Yeah, you should. People, not individuals, but organizers of events should be fined because of public endangerment, because they stand a chance of like really spiking cases, and that happened in fucking Kentucky.
Yeah,
Kentucky was
where my college is.
Yeah, it happened in Wisconsin.
In Brookfield.
But like, at the same time, I can't help but feel like saying there's a ban on public gatherings
more than a certain amount of people.
It opens itself up to being unconstitutional.
Yeah,
but
you can't stop them because it's like their freedom of speech.
Yeah, but this is it's enumerated in the right to assemble peaceably in the First Amendment.
But the right to assemble is restricted right now.
Well, yes.
You can't be together in more than...
The ways that they've done it is through commerce, which is legal. But just saying you can't go here and organize feels
wrong.
Whack to me.
Yes, that does feel wrong. I would agree with that.
And I'm not taking a stance in any one direction because I actually don't know how I feel about it. But I want so badly for it to be legitimate, for a government to say, yeah, fuck you. Like you are directly doing something dangerous that stands a decent chance of spreading a highly contagious virus.
Well, it also got very messy because in some of those instances where people were gathering and protesting, a lot of healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, LPNs. Well, no, it's not that they couldn't get through. It's they were standing there blocking them with their masks on. And I saw something on Instagram today, and it was just like a bunch of posts saying like, the doctors and nurses are the problem with this whole pandemic.
Lord, God damn it.
And it was just like literally someone said we should lock them in the hospital. Isn't this what you trained for? This is like the Super Bowl of your profession. And I was like, oh my God.
Literally, I have to watch people. Okay, so we should just ship soldiers overseas and then not give them a return ticket home and be like, whatever, man. The war in Iran that the president started is like the Super Bowl for you. Have fun.
Isn't that
fuck
like
you?
Fucked up?
Fuck you for
That's
saying
really
that.
messed
That is
up.
so out of line.
I saw some really messed up shit on my like nursing stuff that I follow on Instagram.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow,
hell.
somebody actually said that on Twitter. Somebody did say that.
Yeah, whatever.
They feel comfortable supporting that.
This is a hot take of my own. Twitter is trash. Just gonna toss that out there.
I don't know. I don't have a Twitter. That's why I saw it on Instagram. It was like a screenshot.
Like, there's funny shit on Twitter, and I post shit on Twitter, but, like, I think that Twitter is just a fucking cesspool. Like, it's so gross and so negative all the fucking time. The reason I can't have Twitter is actually a lot of reasons, but one of the reason why most recently I deleted it is because I was just like, someone was just like, you know, they tweeted a thing like, if you're one of those people who's like, I don't eat meat, but I can't stay away from bacon, and I try not to eat dairy, but I can't stay away from cheese. If you're one of those people, you're not helping, and fuck you. And I'm just God. Straight up, one, that's not true, because yes, I am. Like, trying to limit the places that I buy, like, I can't say that I'm a vegan or vegetarian, but I try to do my best to.
I can't be a vegan. Intake. I would die.
Yeah, straight up.
Because I'm so allergic to nuts. You get your protein from plant-based things, from peas and from nuts. I'm allergic to both of those things.
You can't have nuts and legumes. Like,
yeah, I remember somebody was like yelling at me, not yelling at me, but somebody was like angry and was like, "Well, why would you actively choose to eat meat if you like can just be vegan and save the planet?" And I'm like,
newsflash, bozo.
Newsflash, I'm fucking allergic, so suck my dick. Suck my dick. Like
suck my duck.
Suck my duck. I wanted to say clit, but then I just
fucking do it. Whatever.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so we drifted from the topic, but I'm skeptical of finding. What I would say is I don't think that clarifying a right necessarily infringes upon it. There are instances in which it does completely. But I feel this way about guns. Like, you can impose some restrictions on on exercising a right without treading on the right in its functionality.
Yes.
Like, sure, you should be able to own guns. Like, that's what I believe, but I also don't think that it's infringing upon that right to demand that you take a background check. Yeah. And that you can't buy certain high power things. Yeah. Like, that's not... Yeah. I don't think that that's unreasonable.
No.
And in a similar vein, I think that if you want to have your stupid thing and you want to protest, okay, you can't do it on government property.
Yeah. That's a given.
So, like, you can't do it at a courthouse. And if you wanted to, you can do... you say you can assemble in a park, and you can't, like, you say you have to be here, and anybody who protests outside of that boundary is subject to fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. That's fair. If you want to break the state of emergency by having your lawful protest, that's fine. Do it.
That's fine. You
Go
can
ahead.
do it. Go
Spread
ahead.
COVID-19 throughout,
Go ahead.
whatever, MacArthur Park or wherever the fuck you are.
Mm-hmm.
But if you step one fucking foot outside of the boundary, you are subject to fine because it's public endangerment. I totally would agree with that.
I agree with that. It's really hard for me to empathize. Like, just putting myself in someone else's shoes, it's really hard for me to be okay with doing that. Like, I understand that people have their own things that they want to protest.
Dangerous.
It's so unfathomably dangerous, especially if you have someone very sick.
Yeah.
Like, my rabbi's father just died, and he was such a great man. And
that person is important to you.
Yeah, that person was important to me. We have a whole family of friends that are sick with COVID. Like, why would you want to go out in public where you could potentially bring something home to your loved ones?
Yeah.
Or they could catch it with you if you're there. Like,
yeah. I mean,
doesn't that scare you? Like, I understand that the economy is probably gonna be really fucked right now.
The economy is an idea. Fuck that.
It's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't want any one of my loved ones not to be here with me.
Yeah,
you know?
the human life. I saw a thing on Instagram, or not on Instagram, on Facebook today. Like, so many of the people who are protesting are these big, like, give me liberty or give me death, like, people who are doomsday preppers and, like, all this stuff. And they, like, buy up their guns and ammo and stock up on beans and stuff for when the government turns tyrannical and they can rebel against it and survive on their own. They're like doomsday preppers. And then all of a sudden, when they can't go to the fucking Cheesecake Factory, they are literally protesting on a government building. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You idiot. This is what you were built for.
Because there was a protest in Brookfield, which is... I go to school in Waukesha, which is like the town over. It's very close. It's a suburb of Milwaukee, and Waukesha is one of the most conservative counties in the nation.
Yeah.
I don't know about Brookfield, but somebody took pictures, like some news place took pictures at this protest, and there are pictures of people waving the Confederate flag at this protest, which honestly doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know why that has to be involved in this protest, but it was.
Because as a nation, we haven't reconciled with the effects of slavery.
Yeah, it's just like kind of fucked up. Like, something fucked up, it's that.
Yeah.
Like,
we have drifted in a super political direction.
Yeah.
And before I out myself as how left as I actually am, I should rein it in. So maybe let's talk about something a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay, well, thank you for your question.
Thank you, homie, for your question.
Thank
You'll
you,
know
homie.
who you are when you listen.
Also because you said his name earlier, I think.
I did, but we're just gonna. I said I would keep it anonymous, and I want to stay true. So here's some hot takes from another friend. This is in a totally more docile direction.
Okay.
It's two hot takes. One, I'm gonna read the second one first. Eggnog is gross and tastes like buttermilk. That's cool.
I don't know. I've never had egg. What egg? I almost said egg milk. Eggnog. That's because I think it's egg milk. I really do think it's egg milk.
It basically is.
I don't get it.
It's just like, what if egg whites was a drink?
Well, people have tried explaining it to like my Jewish self in the past.
Yeah,
like all of my
eggnog is not part of your holiday canon necessarily.
Well, yeah, exactly. Nobody fucking drinks that shit. That's nasty. Well, I haven't tried it, but it just
no good Jewish person I know drinks eggnog.
Yeah, anything that's a drink with egg in it just makes me uncomfortable. Like that just makes me uncomfortable. But also the fact that some people put alcohol in it. Like, I can't imagine drinking something milky and alcoholic. That just makes me gag, but also I hate milk with a burning passion.
Yeah, you already don't really like dairy drinks.
Yes.
You like ice cream, I think.
I do like ice cream, but every once in a while.
You're not crazy about it. You don't seek it out.
But
I mean, you have
every once in a while.
It's not something that's so you're not so sold on dairy. Like, but
I do like cheese, though.
I will say, actually, I've had eggnog alone. That shit nasty. That's gross. I think eggnog alone is gross. But when you put half a bottle of rum and a bunch of...
Rum? I thought it was vodka.
Oh yeah, rum or sherry.
That's
or both.
That's kind of gross.
Yo yeah.
That's kind of gross.
That makes it bearable. Only
Really?
because
you're so drunk you can't even tell what you're drinking.
Exactly.
That's disgusting.
Exactly right. That is super right.
I feel like
You gotta get yourself drunk enough to bear it.
I feel like Moses won't let me do that. But just kidding, I don't care. But the eggnog concept is really disgusting.
Yeah, I think on the whole, I probably agree with this. Eggnog is pretty gross, like as a concept. But I see it. I mean, I also think that fucking Hawaiian punch is gross. That's not going to stop me from downing a bunch of it when it's mixed with like Everclear at a party.
Fair.
You know, because I'm like, whatever, gotta be one of the cool
Excuse
kids.
me, sorry.
And also, I'm 22, so
fair enough. But like, yeah, eggnog is gross. Jews as a whole, I feel like are baffled with eggnog. You just don't get it.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like I like that you have. Just this is an aside from the hot takes that we're doing. We filmed on 2 holidays now, and recorded on or near 2 holidays because we recorded one near Easter.
Oh yeah,
and you were just like, yeah, I don't understand.
I don't get Easter. I don't get it.
Like, not only do you just not celebrate like typical Christian holidays
because
I'm
a Jew.
Because you're a Jew.
Yeah.
But you also
sense.
like have committed yourself to being like, I don't get it.
Like I just don't get it.
This is not me passing judgment because I grew up celebrating traditional Christian like holidays and yet I don't care.
I mean,
I know why they happen.
Technically, I grew up celebrating both. Like we always celebrated Christmas.
Right, you're mixed, yeah.
We colored eggs and stuff and had the bunnies and everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't to be honest, I didn't know that Easter was such a big holiday until I took my religions class in college because nobody explained that Jesus rose that day. And I didn't know. I just thought it was about bunnies.
See, but you know what?
I had no idea.
That take is exactly as valid as me saying, yeah, I don't know shit about Jewish holidays. I don't know what the holidays are or when they are. I mean, I guess I understand Hanukkah, like oil burned for a lot of days when it was supposed to only burn for one.
Yeah.
But
and that's not even a major holiday.
I don't understand like Rosh Hashanah at all.
Rosh Hashanah is the
much.
New Year for the Jews.
I don't understand Yom Kippur at all.
Yom Kippur is 8 days later. It's the Day of Atonement. So as you're ringing in the new year,
I believe I have actually celebrated with that with you.
You're supposed to fast. Yeah, you're supposed to fast because it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm taking time out of my day to think about all of the things that I've done this past year, to reflect,
and to
apologize, to forgive and to be forgiven.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy holiday.
See, and that underlying sentiment is part of the reason why I was so it was the first time that I ever celebrated a holiday and I was like, this is what it's about. This is what that and Thanksgiving.
I love being Jewish.
Actually. But okay, we're straying away from the hot take again. But I don't know. I like.
I don't get Christian holidays.
I like celebrating Jewish holidays because they often have something that's more transmutable. You know, Christianity, like with Christmas, it's like Jesus was born, and it's like.
But wasn't he not born
no,
that
he wasn't.
day?
like because of calendar conversions, the day that he was actually born is up to debate. I wanted to say dispute and debate at the same time, so I said debut, which was dumb.
There you go.
Which was debium. That was hard to say, and I'm never going to say it
again.
But I don't know. I don't want to. Whatever. I put up a tree to celebrate some guy's birthday.
We put up a tree too.
20 years ago.
We put up a tree for Christmas.
Yeah.
My mom put up a tree for Christmas, and she was full Jew.
Yeah. Yeah. She's Jewish on both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because her dad was Jewish. My grandpa was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma's Jewish, but they still celebrated Christmas and had a tree because it's pretty. Christmas trees are really pretty, and we just have candles.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can't even complain because Hanukkah is such a minor holiday. It doesn't even matter. But it's also a bigger holiday to kids because it's Jewish Christmas. Which sucks saying because Christmas is such a huge holiday. But
Christmas is just what if Hanukkah was one day?
Yeah. But Hanukkah, you get those 8 presents. I don't know. My family, because we celebrated both, my family always was well, Hanukkah is your small thing. So
Yeah.
here's nail polish. Here's a shade of nail polish.
That's how
Here's...
I remember when it was explained to me, like, in elementary school. It has been explained to me before, but
that
never
was just
in, like, a
for
concrete
me.
way.
Like,
yeah.
my cousins, they don't celebrate Christmas. They just have
celebrate
Hanukkah. So they get, like, one day they got, like, a PS4 or something. And then...
Yeah, so, like, that makes sense.
It's just like Christmas but spread out.
Yeah.
But, like, I celebrated both, and we're not wealthy, so... But my parents wanted me to be exposed to multiple religions and have a choice. And I chose to be Jewish because I saw a bat mitzvah, and I was like, damn, that shit's lit. Let's go.
Yeah, well, but now that you're, like, an adult, you can actually reflect
I love
on...
being Jewish.
And it's something that I have talked about converting.
Yeah, and I actually worked at my Sunday school for like 3 years. I went there after I was supposed to. I took like a confirmation course in being Jewish. So I don't know, being Jewish is fun, but I just don't understand Easter and bunnies and eggs and Jesus rising.
Yeah,
like it's just it's not straightforward.
Out of all the prejudices, I think that by and large prejudice is stupid about like personal identifications that are beyond your control, you know. But being Jewish is one of the ones that baffles me the most. Like, what? Why?
Why be Jewish?
No. Why hate a person because they're Jewish?
Yeah.
Why hate a person for any reason? But like, what? Why? I don't get it.
I mean, I don't get it either. But like, also, it's something that my parents actually did. Like, that was the one thing that they did prepare me for in life. They're like, hey,
people are gonna not like you because you're Jewish, and there is no good
also
reason.
because you're Mexican.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I've gotten it from
as well.
both sides. From
someone told you to go home.
Yeah.
After Trump was elected. Yeah.
Well, not even that. Like, in my Sunday school, some guy was like, hey, don't you have to like mow my lawn? And I was like, whoa. And then my teacher yelled at him and called his mom and told the mom what happened. And then he got kicked out of class for the day.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't say that shit.
Well, yeah, especially because, I mean, it's really ironic, but it's kind of funny.
Is really ironic?
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
I was not expecting that at all.
We're having such a serious conversation, but you were like, "It's really ironic," and I was like, "Is really?" And my brain was just like, "Joke."
That was really good, though.
I'm
actually,
sorry.
not gonna lie. Okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
okay. Sorry, I just hit the mic.
I'm sorry,
okay.
Yahweh.
What? I think I just lost my train of thought.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. No.
Yeah.
So in that year during Sunday school, we were learning about like our discrimination and identity as being a Jewish young adult, and we were talking about like racism and anti-Semitism and how that's bad. And so that kid was like,
yeah, he chose the fucking exact wrongest moment to pull that shit.
It's just really ironic. It's honestly, my life is just a bubble of irony.
Wow. All right. Anyway, let's.
Anyways, next question. Thank you.
So we went from talking about eggnog to my life is a bubble of irony.
My life is a bubble of irony. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Schitt's Creek recently. I just had
really
like,
funny.
it's so funny. So I've just been vibing with Alexis, even though she's complete trash. I love it.
She's hilarious. But okay.
Okay.
So
next question.
The eggnog one was part of a two-parter. This is the next one.
Part 2 of eggnog.
Yeah, part 2 of eggnog. Pineapple on pizza is horrible.
No. I'm going to say no.
I have to do it. I have to do it. I called you the minute
you
I
did.
saw this,
You did.
and I was like,
and we had a conversation about this.
I'm going to move the
Yes,
mic
we
away
did.
from me because I'm about to get fucking loud.
Okay, yeah, get loud.
Fucking
get loud.
Not liking pineapple
Yes.
is one thing, but not liking it on pizza because you're just like, pineapple on pizza is gross.
That's not normal.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Not only does not fuck you to this person because this person's cool, but like, but if you have an, I think the way that I explain it, if you have an aversion to pineapple in all contexts, cool. That's fine.
Cool. That's fine.
If
you can hate pineapple.
If it's
it makes your tongue feel weird.
Yeah, if it's a texture thing, that's cool too.
I get it.
And if it's just the kind of thing that you're like, yeah, I'd rather have it without. Like, that's fine. But how do you this is what I struggle with. How do you justify not liking pineapple on pizza?
If you've never tried it.
if you think it's just gross, and also if you've had it poorly prepared and you have a bad experience, that's another thing too.
Honestly,
But
Domino's.
But I
has really
feel
good
like the
pineapple
reason why
pizza.
so many people are mad at pineapple on pizza is because they are stupid and they're just
Yeah.
like, it's gross. This is gross.
Yes.
People have been putting fruit and meat together for
a
fucking
long
years
time.
now.
And
Like
cheese.
that shit.
Apples and cheddar?
News flash.
Delicious.
That ain't a new concept. But like.
Oh, excuse
Fucking
me.
this was the counter argument that I came up with on the phone in real time.
Yes.
Pepperoni is garbage.
Yes, you
Pepperoni
did
is
get really
trash.
angry about
They were like, what
pepperoni.
if we took like good meat and then made it terrible, filled it with chemicals, and then tossed
did.
that shit on pizza?
You did get really angry about that.
Why you would eat pepperoni over sausage, which like has some establishment as like its
Yes.
own very broad meat. I just don't. Fucking pepperoni on pizza is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I don't understand
not the
why it is
best.
more widely accepted than pineapple.
I mean, I am like the least pickiest eater when it comes to pizza. Like,
you were just like pizza.
I mean, yeah, I just like, I'm not a picky eater.
Yeah.
I'm not a picky eater at all. So I've tried many different kinds of pizzas before. I will say my favorite combo of flavors is sausage, pineapple, and mushrooms, which is really weird. And that sounds like some pregnant lady telling you what she ate last night. But it's really good. It's really good. And it's actually really good from Domino's.
See, I personally,
And that's accessible.
I don't like mushrooms, but I don't think
like
that because you like mushrooms on pizza, that you are wrong and should die. Like,
Thank you. Thank
like,
you.
People have such a level of severity about pineapple on pizza that baffles me.
It like ends friendships, maybe.
Well, it's about to end. The one that the person who just said this shit to me.
Shit. I'm so
like,
sorry.
it's about to be
But,
game
like,
over for us. But
I really like pineapple pizza. And my friend the other day, we were sitting at work at Chipotle doing nothing. And she
at work doing jack shit.
just doing nothing because it was a weekend. It was really dead. Nobody's ordering anything. So we were just sitting there.
Also, there's a plague, so.
Fair enough. She ordered pizza and it was pineapple and hot sauce. And I was like,
That shit
I've
sounds
never
tasty.
had that before.
That shit sounds tasty.
I was like, I really like pineapple pizza. And I was like, I'll try it. I tried it. That shit was so good. Like, I would have never thought to put hot sauce on a pizza, but that was really good.
yeah.
That was really good. But, like, I get where you're coming from because this was from, like, Mod Pizza or it's one of those pizza
like,
places
like, it's like
where it's like...
it's an artisanal
yes,
pizza.
it's an
whatever.
artisanal
Yeah.
pizza place.
we're holding up our hands like...
Yes. But they have, like, barbecue pizzas.
That shit's delicious.
See, but I don't really like barbecue sauce in the first place.
Because you don't like smoky stuff.
Because I don't like
Kinda
smoky
forgot about
stuff.
that.
Yeah. So I'm like iffy on that. I will try it. I'm not going to like shit on you for liking that because it's something that I don't normally like. When I was growing up, my parents were like, you never know until you try. And it's true.
And you were like, damn, it did
Grow
be
up
like
your
that
fucking
sometimes.
palates, hoes. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, come on. You never know until you try. What's it gonna do? Oh my God. It's not the worst thing in the world if you just eat a fucking slice of pineapple pizza.
See, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if I ate a slice of pepperoni pizza. I don't like pepperoni, and so I'm not going to get a pizza with it on it. But
if it's like a party.
Yeah, my old roommate and close friend Eric likes pineapple on pizza. Do I think he's a warlord? No. He's a Keebler elf.
Yeah, he's literally a Keebler
He's
elf.
a little tiny red-haired god of the trumpet. I love that
Yes.
motherfucker. But
and he's so good at cooking.
I know, and he's so good at cooking. I miss living with that motherfucker.
Oh my
But
God,
I know I went on my whole pineapple tirade, but I did it to just because like people shit on pineapple because it's the thing to do. But no one thinks about shitting on pepperoni because everyone puts pepperoni on their pizza.
Yeah.
Like fuck that.
It's
you like what you like and don't feel bad about it. If you like pepperoni, cool. If you don't like pepperoni, cool. Like if you like pepperoni in some contexts but not on pizza, also cool. Like what you fucking like and let's not get mad about it.
Exactly.
Like so I'm not mad necessarily that this person doesn't like pineapple on their pizza. I'm mad at the question.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, it shouldn't be such a stigma in our day-to-day life. But also, I remember when you were away at school right before all this quarantine shit happened before spring break, I went to Tighthead Brewery with your parents.
Beautiful.
And your mom made andouille sausage New Orleans pizza because it
That-
was like right before Mardi Gras.
That sounds fucking good.
Oh my God. And she just like brought this whole pan into this brewery.
Yeah, of course. Because you can
And
do that at Tight
yeah,
Head,
I mean,
which
yeah,
is
you
the
can do that
best.
at Tight Head, but it was just
It's
really
the
funny
best.
watching her walk in with this huge ass pan of pizza.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure.
oh my God, it was so good. Like, that's one of my second favorite pizzas. And it's not even a pizza place. So you got to come to Liz for that shit.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
Next
I think
question.
we've sufficiently answered those two questions. Okay.
Thank you.
I want to get to this. Oh my God, are you okay? You just really choked on your beer for a second.
I just like spilled
You just-
everywhere.
was the noise you just made.
I was going sideways. I didn't realize.
Don't do that. Don't do that. So the question that we got, or the hot take we got, not the question. The hot take we got is from a friend of ours, and this is the entire hot take. Weed sucks. And I'm gonna listen. I'm 21. I'm a responsible adult. I love weed. I love weed. It's legal in Illinois.
It is legal in Illinois.
I love that shit. And you know what? I put drugs. I guess this is how I feel about pretty much everything. Like, if you like it and you're not hurting anybody, then who cares? You know? Like, I mean, obviously, once it becomes a problem for you, like, there's a limit. Like, if someone,
If it's like debilitating you.
yeah, if it's harming you actively, and if it's harming others actively, then don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
But if you don't like weed and you think weed sucks, hell yeah. Fucking never
you
smoke weed.
don't have to do it.
That's
You're saving
awesome.
yourself money.
And if you don't, exactly right. And if you don't want to be around people when they're smoking weed, that's cool too. They shouldn't give you shit about it.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed to make the choices that you fucking want.
Exactly.
Because you're a goddamn adult.
Same with drinking. If you don't like drinking,
Yeah.
we have a really good friend that doesn't really like drinking, and I'm not gonna out her,
Yeah.
but she doesn't like drinking. And one time we were at Portillo's together, and we were having a conversation, and I was like, "Hey, we're 21 now. Like,
What,
you've
you
been
drink?
drinking," and she's just like, "I don't really drink.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it makes me feel." I'm like, "That's okay. I
Yeah.
love drinking.
Yeah.
I love it."
We're about to kill our daisy cutters. Like,
Yeah, and I've already had one beer.
nice. Well, I'm about to reach in my little cooler over here.
Mhm.
But yeah. So
Like, you shouldn't have to feel bad for not liking something that everybody else likes. And you
Yeah.
shouldn't feel peer pressured. Like, if they're good friends, they shouldn't make you do that with them.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that this is happening with your friend or whoever it is.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Like, you don't have to like weed. I have smoked weed in my time. Can't really smoke it now because I could get in trouble
Mm-hmm.
at my school, but it is legal in Illinois where I live, so that's kind
Yeah.
of a hairy situation. But weed, I've enjoyed smoking weed before. I really enjoyed it. I've had fun,
Yeah. Like, I mean, whatever. Like, who
and
cares?
I'm not killing anybody
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Oh my god. So I think the hottest take from this episode is the way that we both feel is if you like something, fuck it.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about this next hot take.
Yes.
Beyonce is incredibly overrated. Now, I have some mixed feelings about this one.
I don't know. I would personally agree with that. I just like some of her older stuff I really do like. I really do like old Beyonce, and I can jam with it.
Yeah.
But some of the newer stuff, it's just not my thing. And that's nothing against her. I think she is a phenomenal, talented singer.
Yeah.
She's great at dancing. Like, I think she's a great performer.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a fan of her newer stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, nothing against me, nothing against anybody else that likes her newer stuff. It's just not my thing. It's just not what I'm into. I'm into Weezer right now. Like,
Yeah.
that's very different.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And that's fine.
So my take about this actually comes from a weird place. The
Okay.
only Beyonce that I know is fucking Single Ladies. I don't know any Beyonce.
Okay, but that's like a jam.
But
that's
you know
a
what?
jam.
But you know what I do know about Beyonce? She is a confident, powerful woman
Mm-hmm.
who is respected in pop
Yes.
culture, and that she's a woman of color, and that's really fucking important.
Yeah.
And
I like
as
Beyonce.
far as I am concerned, if people want to rally around someone and that person happens to be someone who can look at the obstacles in their way, the obstacles being gender identity and race, and say, fuck you, I am talented, I have a place here on earth, and I am fucking in charge. That person, I care about them. I care about their well-being, and I care about the art that they make. I can't say personally that Beyonce's music is in line with my tastes or not. You know why? Because I haven't heard any of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Beyonce is overrated.
Fair enough.
I think you can say Beyonce's music. You can say I don't understand the hype around Beyonce's music. Fair.
That's fair.
But I think that to diminish how important she is as a cultural figure would be a little bit myopic.
Fair enough.
Personally.
Fair enough.
And that's not what this person said. You know, they just said that they think that they are overrated. And, you know, I think I would tend to probably disagree. But, you know, they could have a nuanced opinion just like I do. You know, so, yeah.
Well, when she was younger and when she was doing, like, Dreamgirls, after she'd, like, been a little famous, I think that was when she was dating Jay-Z, but don't quote me on that. But, like, Jennifer Hudson... in that movie in Dreamgirls, they were so good. Like, they sounded amazing. And Jennifer Hudson, I think, honestly, really blossomed after that. And I'm not saying Beyonce did that, but I think that movie's a really good movie to watch if you were just like, I don't really know anything about Beyonce, but I want to see her talent. And maybe listen to some of the music that she doesn't normally do, because she's extremely talented. Same with Jennifer Hudson. I think they're both extremely talented women.
Sure.
And I think that, I don't know, I just really like Dreamgirls, not gonna lie. But yeah.
That's fair.
Jamie Foxx, too.
So the next hot take that I want to do is one from a very good friend of ours, actually, who we want to have on the show.
Oh.
Maybe at some point.
Okay.
Little tease for that.
Tease.
They said they sent us their hot take, and then they sent us a clarifying message to elaborate on their point. And I want to get into it. And this might be a little bit political, too.
I haven't seen this.
They said, hot take, community college is not as good a deal as people make it out to be. And my first reaction was, I'm not sure if I agree with that, but this was their elaboration. They said, I want to elaborate and say, by going to a 4-year university, you meet so many people from different backgrounds and become way more cultured and empathetic to other cultures and learn the skills that you should have been taught about the real world in high school, but you aren't. And 4-year degrees look better. So I have a very complicated answer to this question because this touches on a lot of really excellent points about higher education, but I want you to kind of respond first.
Yeah. So I think that in certain situations, I think that going to a community college is the move. Like, if you're unsure, if you graduate high school and you're unsure of what you're doing, go to a community college. Don't waste your money going to a big school. Don't waste your money, period. Like, community college will save you a lot of money. And again, I don't know. It is a really complicated situation because I don't think that I would have done well if I were living at home.
Yeah.
It's very situational because I know who I am. If I had gone to a huge party school, I probably would have failed out.
Yeah.
I probably would have failed out and never been a nurse. But because I went to the school that I did, a 4-year nursing program,
you went to Iowa State,
one of the few colleges that actually has a 4-year nursing program. Most of them are 2 years, which is really hard. I was able to get into this college. I did really well in this college. I really did enjoy my time at Carroll. And it was mostly because of the education. Like, I know I'm getting the best education I could.
Yeah.
For the best price I could for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was tailored to me. And I'm happy that I went there. I don't think that I would have thrived at all going to community college and then transferring somewhere. I definitely would not have learned the skills that I've learned going to my 4-year college for nursing. It's like, it's a big, like, I agree to an extent because it does build your skills after college and, like, meeting people and doing that. But, like, mine's a little complicated because I had to do that in high school because I went to a middle school that was, like, on the other side of the world, basically. And then I had to make all my new friends in high school.
Yeah, totally.
So I agree with that if, like, somebody has not dealt with that before, but I don't know. Like, if you're unsure of what you're doing, then don't go to a big college.
Yeah, don't waste the money.
And if it's something like business, I feel like something very general and you're not sure what you want to specialize in yet, go to a community college.
Yeah.
Something like very simple, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, not shitting on like business majors or anything.
No,
but
of
like,
course not.
if you're just not specialized yet, or you kind of have a general idea of what you want to do,
or
but not
if you
sure.
if you're not comfortable putting down a 5-figure amount for your education when you only have a halfway idea as to what you want to do, don't do it. It's irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Like, there are so many people in my nursing program that are older. They have children. They're coming back to school.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. I think that's great because they have told me that they didn't really know what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to a community college, did something, and then they later in life had an epiphany and they're like, I want to be a nurse or I want to be whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad, though.
So
I don't think that's bad at all.
Yeah. And I'll give my answer thusly. I agree with you. I think when people think college, they think about a 4-year university.
Yeah.
When I think about community college, what I think people think is college but less.
Yeah.
You know, less good, less whatever.
Which is very untrue,
but
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because our good friend Oscar,
I was gonna bring him up.
Yes,
yeah,
he made strides at CLC, and
his,
now he's at Harvard.
And his circumstances were that he immigrated here, and so that was because of his economic standpoint. So I will say the thing that I was going to say about community colleges, most people focus on the word college in that, but what I want to focus on is the word community. You know, we are, whether we like it or not, we belong to a community in Mundelein and in specifically Lake County. For the College of Lake County. That is made up of people like us who went to 4 years, who were fortunate enough to come from backgrounds where we could
do that,
go to a 4-year, you know.
And that's not always an option for you.
And I don't think that a 4-year would have been good for me. I also think that going to the 4-year that I went to, it did not expose me to the social things that I would want to. I have 400 undergrads at my school. I didn't learn shit about being a person. I don't understand how to navigate social worlds and other cultures because of the college that I went to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know how to do that because it's something that I cared about before. But
well, and it's hard, especially if you've gone to the same schools that all of your friends and everybody else you know in this town have gone to. And I was not like that. I went to the town over's elementary schools and middle school, and then I went to Mundelein High School. And I remember being like very scared of going to Mundelein High School because the elementary schools that I went to were very bougie and very white. And it was very different. And a lot of people were very racist. Yes.
Yep.
Vernon Hills is a very wealthy place, and I did not go to that high school.
Wealth
and
often accompanies racism.
Yeah, exactly. And people were like saying horrible things about Mundelein High School, but I'm so glad that I went to Mundelein High School.
People call my neighborhood Mexico. I get you.
Mundelexico, yeah. People call Mundelexico, which is awful. But
but you know what? I would rather have a fucking neighbor who's Mexican. I would rather have.
Like,
I would
why
rather
does
have
that
the most
even matter though?
Like, just to play devil's advocate for the stereotype, I would rather have a neighbor who brings me salsa and who works for a landscaping company than have some fucking person who is a lawyer in Evanston who teaches their children to hate. Like a couple townships over. Fuck that, man.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I'd rather I have more in common with an immigrant who's a laborer who happens to be Mexican than I do with some like
sissy frissy hoity-toity white dude.
some upper middle class fuckhead. You know, I don't have anything in common with them.
Yeah.
Because their view on the world is so much more closed-minded than mine is. But I don't mean to get into that. But the thing I was going to say about community college is that there's so many factors into community college, that most people go as a transitory. A lot of people left high school and went in to do a trade. You know, and so they wanted to get an associates so that they could be.
That's a great degree.
So that they could be in like a management position.
Yeah.
But because they don't want to ascend higher than that, they make $96,000 a year being involved in like a trade or being a contractor or whatever they do. And that's excellent for them. If you should get the education that you want to get.
Yeah.
I also am the kind of person who thinks that community college should be free if you qualify for it. I think that you shouldn't have to pay for it, but that's because I think that I would benefit from having a populace that has access to higher education. I see access to education as an investment. It may take a couple dollars out of my paychecks in taxes, but I don't care because I want to live in a world where people are educated.
Yeah, because
that's what I care about.
Education is a right. I feel like
I agree. But even if you don't think that it's a right, it's something that having access to it should be a right. Whether that access is defined by money or time or age or whatever. I think it's something that you should never feel like in your life you can't feel like you get more educated, that you could get more educated.
Yeah,
I don't think that to take that away from people or diminish that for someone is irresponsible in the long run.
You shouldn't diminish someone for wanting to seek further education, no matter what education that is. If they can't afford a major school, which I understand, like I had to take out loans to go to this 4-year school, and that was my choice. Like I could have gone to college, like community college if I wanted to, but I made that choice and I decided to go there for 4 years, and that's on me.
Yeah,
like that was a choice that I made.
Right now, another person, actually a different person that we want to bring on as a guest, is currently going to a community college so that they can get enough transfer credits to go from where I was going before for my undergrad to where I'm now going for my master's.
Yes.
and it's excellent for them because they're going to graduate on time.
Because and
that's worth it. Community college has its benefits.
It does.
It doesn't. I will admit that there are people that we went to high school with, people that we and the person who submitted this question went to high school with, said, yeah, I'm just going to slack off and work at like a whatever store. They're going to work retail for the rest of their lives, and they went to a community college because it was easy. And so it is easy to look at community college as the way to sort of satisfy...
Just write it off.
Yeah, to satisfy the part of you that says, well, I should go to college, but also satisfy the part of you that says, but I don't want to work that hard. Like, it's easy to look at it that way and have that outlook, and a community college has been exploited that way many times.
But it's your education, and it's what you make of it.
And so community college is very important. And I think the person who submitted this hot take would agree with what we're saying. But, I think that there is a lot of nuance to it, which is why they submitted their extra DM to us.
Yeah.
Because
it is a hot take. It is a very hot take.
It is a fucking hot to the touch take.
Yes.
Like, based on the fact that we spent, like, 10 minutes talking about it.
I know.
But, I want to read some more hot takes. Give me a second. I gotta
But thank you
mess with the
for
capture.
submitting.
Yeah, I really want to.
That was a good hot take.
We've talked. Yeah, that was a hot ass take.
It's complicated, so basically do what's best for you.
Yeah.
And you should know that because you're your own person. And if you don't, that's okay.
Yeah.
Take time to figure it out.
Exactly. We only have time for one more hot take, really, unless we can take like 20 seconds to do it. We have time for one more hot take, and then we should record a little. We'll record a little. We've been recording some extras. So if you've been listening to the podcast and you really like hearing us talk about stuff and you like hearing our bits, then we're going to be posting some extras on YouTube, and we'll be posting the full recordings of the extras on Patreon.
Yes.
To help us pay for stuff like
Give us
staying
money,
alive.
we're poor.
So if you really, really like us, then feel free to donate $3 or $5 to get certain extras.
Or even $1.
For the podcast.
$1.
We'll see what the
I'll take your
tiers
dollar
on Patreon are like, but
yes.
We'll see what's up. So, but we're gonna get that going in the next month or so.
As the great Mona Lisa said from Parks and Rec, money, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I really thought you were gonna pull an Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps and say, as Aristotle once said, "Where's the bathroom? I really gotta shit."
No, money, please. I'm
okay.
gonna dress up as her for Halloween.
This is one okay, we're gonna get to two really quickly. We're gonna get to a few. I want to answer a few. No, we should save some of these. We're gonna talk about one, and it's gonna be music specific.
Okay.
It is from a very good friend of mine out at Eastman.
Okay.
Who I want to get him as a guest. I do.
Okay.
I do.
I feel like I know who.
Their hot take is classical musicians don't read music any better than jazz musicians. Hello. Okay, sorry.
Hello.
We had a little bit of a technical error, and unfortunately, my ding-dong computer didn't record our huge, long-winded answer to the question that we just asked.
But
so
it's okay. Welcome back,
welcome
friends.
back. It doesn't feel
Welcome
like any time for you, but
back.
it feels like whatever, 15 minutes for us.
Yes.
So,
Hi. We're
we just
still Sipsy.
so I want to answer this question though, of whether or not classical musicians don't the hot take of classical musicians don't necessarily read
Yes.
music better than jazz musicians. And I want to get at this is we're going to sort of abbreviate the answer, I think.
Yes.
I want to get at the underlying question or the underlying hot take in this, which is just because you're a classical musician doesn't mean that you are fucking better than a jazz
Yes.
musician. And
that applies to so many majors too. Just because I'm a nursing major doesn't mean that I'm better than you because you're a music major. It doesn't mean anything
well,
different.
yeah.
It doesn't mean yes, it applies to everything.
But I think that the ultimate
they're different things.
what that hot take gets at is the take that many classical musicians that I know, especially at a conservatory setting, take is that, well, I express myself in such and such way, which is better than your way, or I think your way is stupid, or I don't think that your way is like worth knowing.
Just
like,
because
I'm
it's
doing
different,
something, yeah,
doesn't mean that it's better.
there is no one way to express
Exactly.
yourself.
There's no one way to learn everything either.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest, and I said this in the little part that we unfortunately didn't record. The thing about classical musicians that I have observed is that some of the best readers I know, the hot take was that classical musicians aren't necessarily better readers than jazz musicians. Some of the best readers I know are jazz musicians.
Well, because they have a natural ear for it, I feel like.
Not just that they have a natural ear for it, but just their reading skills.
Yes.
You put a hard piece in front of
Complicated.
them, and they can understand it. Because they are just good at looking at music and ingesting it. But also, I will say that while there are some classical musicians who may be good readers, some of the worst aural musicians that I know, musicians who can learn by ear, are fucking classical musicians, because they're just like, whatever, I'm gonna have music on my stand. And in jazz, you might not. Like, the majority of the jazz shows that I have seen, people don't have shit in front of them.
Yeah.
People have a set list, maybe, you know, like, and to have that kind of auditory recall is extremely important, no matter what you play.
Yeah.
That kind of the ability to hear a chord and improvise over it isn't just necessary in jazz; it's necessary in fucking Baroque music.
Yeah.
So if you want to shit on jazz, think for a second about what you are actually saying. You know, like I and it reminds me of the story of Howard Hansen, this despicable human who used to run Eastman,
Good.
back
We love
like
it.
in the fucking like
We love
50s
it.
or 60s or whatever. It is there will never be improvisation on Kilbourne stage, which is one of the recital halls at Eastman, and that is garbage, because to say that is to discount improvisation in all fields.
Yeah.
What he was saying is, I don't want to have people of color on my fucking stage, because he was a horrible racist. But I just, God, it frustrates me so much that so many classical musicians, and I like to think I have a good barometer for this because I have done an undergrad at a conservatory in undergrad, and I'm about to do my master's in jazz. Like, so I've seen both sides, and it's just endlessly frustrating to see classical musicians discount the ability of jazz musicians because they don't understand the music. And the same is true of jazz musicians. I will say there are jazz musicians who are just like, whatever, that's what classical people do. But I think that at 8 times out of 10, there is a classical musician assuming something about a jazz major versus a jazz musician assuming something about a classical major.
Fair enough.
You know, like, I honestly think that the split is not even. So,
Fair enough.
but anyway, and you've had experience in some of these fields because you have participated in choirs that sang not only like
Classical Christmas songs, or not even
you've
Christmas
done
songs,
you've done
just classical
Hallelujah
songs.
chorus, and you've also done like jazzy pieces, which is not
Yes.
to say that jazzy pieces are the same as jazz.
No.
But like, you have been exposed to different harmonic frameworks that make up the two genres, so you understand the differences between the two.
And I took Bob Zahn's weird homeroom music theory class on jazz It was very strange. I learned things.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. But so I don't know. I've been exposed to like music theory before, and I do personally feel as someone that has learned music from an ear standpoint rather than just
a
reading standpoint. I feel like I do vibe more with jazz music or jazzy pieces. It just reading it, now that I'm able to read music, reading it and also putting some notes to something that I've heard before.
Yeah.
I just get it better. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, though. I don't know if that's just a me thing.
I mean, yeah, and you're talking about the nuances of the different genres. There are nuances in both genres.
Exactly.
In classical music, you have to know, oh, it's from this year? Okay, well, you have to do, like, the mordents this way.
Yeah, I have no idea about that.
And you know, oh, it's from this country? Okay, well, you play it like this. Oh, it's from this country? You play it like this. Yeah. Where, and you know, that's totally valid. Mm-hmm. It's totally valid for historically accurate performance. And also, in jazz, you have to understand clave rhythms, and you have to understand the difference between Afro-Cuban and like bossa and whatever. Like, and you have to understand, like, okay, well, bebop swing is this way, and hard bop swing is this way, and here's straight eighths, you know, and like stuff like that. There are different. You have to you have to know shit about your field for each field.
Exactly.
Like, that's not gonna fucking change.
Yeah.
Like,
and nobody should shit on someone for knowing something related to their field rather than their own field or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there's no wrong way to be an artist.
No.
You know? The only arbiter of music, or I'm sorry, the only arbiter of what makes art good or not should be taste.
Yeah.
For someone to say that isn't art
is really mean.
Is not just mean, but is inherently wrong. It's foolish. It's myopic. Everything is art. Everything is. And that's important to understand. Mm-hmm. And to shit on people. Like, I was in a chamber orchestra that did like that did jazz pieces, and I saw the snickering or confused or purposefully mocking looks on the faces of some classical musicians because of the fact that, oh, this is weird stuff. And like, that is close-minded. Could you imagine? I mean, and the reason why I was frustrated with that is because everyone around me was a jazz major, and all they were seeing was, oh, whatever, those are just the idiot classical musicians. But when they say that, they're also talking about me. Yeah. I was in that orchestra, and I was a classical musician, but I was playing with a jazz band because I was a good enough jazz musician to be in the top jazz ensemble that year. And so it was really frustrating to see classical musicians conduct themselves in such a poor way. Yeah. Because it's like, have some fucking respect.
Yeah.
You would be appalled if you saw jazz musicians shit over the artists that you hold dear. Mm-hmm. And yet, you're literally making fun of music that was arranged by the person who's conducting you. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you. That is really so immature. And that attitude is never going to get you anywhere in the professional world. And it's so frustrating. And so I think that my friend who sent me this really hit the nail on the head with the larger issue.
Yeah.
Is that just because you're a classical musician doesn't mean that you are entitled to some higher degree of sincerity or respect. Mm-hmm. And just because you're a jazz musician doesn't mean that you aren't entitled to respect.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the take that I'm going to have.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that.
All right. Well, this has been a good episode talking about people's hot drama, even though we had a little technical glitch right in the middle there.
But it's okay because we finished our beer.
Yeah, that's what counts.
That's what counts.
Alrighty. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.